Hello, beautiful beings. You know, the first thing I thought of when I sat down to do this was how when I get done with making a video, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, and I upload it immediately. I do not listen to it first. And then when it gets uploaded, the still frame on the video, like I'm making the most ridiculous face. I was just like, why? And I know that I will learn someday how to not have it on a ridiculous face. But see, that's just one example of if I listened to my mind, I wouldn't post that video. I would not. That's why I do it right away and don't listen to it first, because my mind will get a hold of it. No, I'm just going to be myself because everyone else is already taken, and I won't be everybody's cup of tea. That's totally fine with me. I would rather have you just pass on by than go, oh my gosh, she's so weird. But I have found that, you know, being called crazy or weird is actually a really huge compliment because, you know, it just shows your authenticity. Off and on today, well, since I made the record, started making videos again, things kind of flow in, you know, that may be spoke about. And one thing I'd really like to talk about is the fact that every being on the planet has consciousness expressing through it. However, the beings with the most severe, there's a bird, with the most severe amnesia, that's what I call it, is the beings that have forgotten that they're not people. Even though we're having a personal experience, a human experience, we are not these people. We're divine beings expressing through these physical forms. But even the most heinous people on the planet, I used to think, how can I possibly love them? When love is the healing balm. It's what we are. We are love. We are love expressing through these physical forms. However, there are beings on the planet that have had such severe amnesia for so long that they come along and they do horrible things to other people. And which comes in the survival instincts, the survival techniques that many of us, especially being empathic and being able to feel everybody's energy, there's certain survival things that we need to, skills that we need to have in order to actually literally survive them. Because it would be too much for this physical form. There's just, you know, if you don't understand what's going on and you don't have the coping skills to deal with it, the divine steps in. Christina really just taught me all this the last couple days. Because I've always wondered, how has my physical body handled so much stress? How? How has it? And she says that spirit comes in and just takes a little bit, removes a little bit, and creates that kind of numbing sensation. It's like, you know, a spiritual Novocaine. It's awesome. But then, you know, as life goes by and we grow up, we don't need those survival skills anymore. So, you know, waking up with Muji, the fire started 3 days after I woke up with Muji. Literally a fire in my solar plex. I had 101 fever for a very long time, and that's grace burning everything that I am not. And I'm just like, take it. Please take everything that I am not. Because when I got sober in 04, January 8th, 2004, my prayer has been, please make me a clear open channel so I can help others. Because I knew that if I was ever able to get to a place, I didn't even know it was possible, to get to a place and have a quiet mind, I knew that that was my destiny, to be able to help other people do that. And you know, the best teachers are the ones that have been through hell themselves, because I've tried to have people tell me, I know how you feel, but you can totally tell if they've actually been through it and they really know how you feel, or if they learned it out of a book, which is fine. You know, it's really nice that people try to help people no matter what. But there's a resonance that comes. There's a heart opening that comes when I'm listening to people that I know how I feel. So The love that I have heard that we are supposed to love everybody, I could not have done that from my mind. It is only through the overflow that comes from being in the present moment. We are the present moment. There is nothing else. It's not a, it was a mental thing for a long time for me to keep remembering that there is only the present moment. And the most beautiful teacher for that, the most beautiful reminder for that to me is Eckhart Tolle. He is one of the most incredible awakened beings on the planet. And of course, Mooji can help bring a person back to presence, back to our original state. He did for me my second video ever. He came up that morning on YouTube. I had never heard of him. My second video, a few minutes in, I woke up. And what that meant for me was all of a sudden, my whole life was rushing past me on both sides, and I was laughing and crying at the same time, and I felt incredibly angry also. It was like everything. And bam! After years of mental torture, years, I had a completely quiet mind. For 3 days. And you know, right before that, just a few days before that, leading up to it, I had realized that replacing bad thoughts with good thoughts would never be a permanent solution for me. That I would always identify with my mind again, and what I called, I'd go into spin out. I could not stop thinking about certain things. And picking up on other people's energy and actually hearing what they were thinking, if it was negative about me, I could not stop thinking about it. So the day that I realized that, you know, replacing the negative thoughts with good thoughts, I was walking down my hallway, and when that realization hit me, I fell to the floor in the fetal position. I had never felt so claustrophobic in my body before. I was just like, well, what am I going to do now? I had no idea what I was going to do. Well, little did I know that 2 or 3 days after that moment, Mooji was going to find me and come and chop my head off. I mean, it's the greatest blessing anybody can receive on the planet. To wake up and remember that you're not this person is absolutely incredible. Of course I'm going to share it. I gotta make sure that, okay, yeah, it's still recording. I don't want it to cut me off again. You know, they keep drawing me to this cross that I wear. I was an innkeeper at a beautiful inn down by a river a couple springs ago. I made it a few months. The schedule was such that I got extremely tired, and I have a very high metabolism, and one thing with sleep deprivation is the inability to keep weight on. And so, you know, I got so tired I ended up telling off one of my bosses, and you know, yeah, the universe weeded that job out. So anyway, so while I was there, one amazing thing that I got to do was I got to cut out this really long stretch of old rusty barbed wire fence that was snaring animals when they'd go down to drink at the river. So when I was down there, after I got that fence all out of there, I was picking up garbage one day, and I was picking up garbage, and I found this old rusted chain, and it had kind of a weird vibe to me, and I hung it up on a branch, and I stood back, and I said, and I do this all the time when I'm outside, out in nature, which I'm outside a lot. You know, it's my home. The trees, I used to be by the trees and just cry, and I'm just like, please tell me, like, please tell me what you know, like your stillness. I know, I felt like there was a block between us. Not anymore. Anyway, so I said, are there any more treasures you want me to find? And I took a step back when I said it, and then I took one step forward. I kneeled down in front of this riverbank, and I moved this piece of old, like, burger foil wrapper, and then I did my fingernail like this twice, just twice, and I hit metal. I hit this cross. It was black and tarnished. I couldn't see who was on it, but I started shaking. I was shaking violently, like an excited kid, you know, getting a new bicycle for Christmas or something. I was just out of my mind with excitement. I was just like, are you kidding me right now? Are you serious? You really gave this to me? And even though I couldn't see anybody that was on it, they were all swirling around me and in me. Just like when Papa G came to me, he was a part of my physical body. All the ancient beings on this cross were swirling around me, and they weren't saying words, but they were all speaking to me at once. It was obviously profound and part of my magical existence. I have so many amazing encounters that I get to share with you. You know, and there's an upside down dove going into Mother Mary. It's Mother Mary in the middle there. There's an upside down dove, and I didn't know what it meant because we couldn't find this one on the internet. After I got the tarnish off, we started searching for, you know, what exactly is it? What does it mean? And we were cleaning houses for a Catholic woman, her house. And I said, you know, what does this upside down dove mean? And she was just like, oh my God, I've never seen one like this before. And I told her the story, and she just started crying. I know, it's like really profound, and what a gift. And she said that it represents divine wisdom coming in. I was like, oh my gosh, of course it does. Of course it does. So I wear this, and the one that it's hooked to, my second daughter, Beauty, she gave it to me, and it says, always mother, forever friend. And I just don't take these off. You know, I lost this cross 3 different times, and it was a lesson for me. I had to let go of it. It felt devastating, but I had to let go of it, and I did, and then it showed back up. So I'm not religious at all. However, the ancients on this are always with me, plus so many more, countless more. I used to just see them in a kind of a row behind me and spread out, but as I have come more into, matured more into my own beingness, they have integrated with me. And I get visits from certain ones that like I watch videos of on YouTube, you know, some that are still alive, like Muji, Amma, Papa G. Oh, it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. My favorite prayer in the whole world, and you know, you don't have to be religious to pray. My favorite prayer in the whole world is, remove this fear and direct my attention to what you would have me be. That is the most potent prayer I have ever prayed. The Serenity Prayer is really amazing. However, I call it the fear prayer. It takes the fear out by the tap roots. And yeah, you know, through the process of growing, it may seem like, man, I've been here before, you know, I can't believe I made this choice again. However, it's not a mistake if we keep learning from it, because, you know, the more I keep going back and doing the same thing over and over, the more painful it gets, which is a huge blessing and will ensure that I won't go back and do it. But if a person does go back and do the same thing over again, it just means that there's more of that taproot to pull out. Because, you know, I don't know about you, but a lot of my decisions in my life have been fear-based. And that's okay. They're not anymore, though, because I trust my intuition. I trust my intuition more than I trust what's coming out of somebody else's mouth. And that might have sounded mean, you know. There are people that we absolutely can trust. However, you know, there are a lot of beings that are still coming from that place of their own conditioning. So even though they may believe what they're saying and not intentionally lying, they're coming from a place of their own perception, their own perspective, and, you know, that's not always for my highest good. So it's so funny when I perceive, or when I feel like the information is slowing down, I see a little hourglass with the sand almost coming all the way through. If you want to talk, please don't hesitate to leave me a message in the comment section, or email me at satsangwithmamag@gmail.com. I love you so much.